Oh, little t trauma is not talked about enough. Most people equate trauma, when I talk about childhood trauma affecting your adult relationships, they equate it to things like SA, car accidents, losing a parent, not having a parent there, just big T trauma. But there is something that is called little t trauma, which is basically anything that gets stuck in your nervous system, right? And most of the work I do with clients, well, actually, I'd say it's 50-50. It's 50% big T trauma, the obvious ones. People know that they had childhood trauma. But there is a large section of clients that I work with that don't recognize they have what's called little t trauma, yet it still drives their emotional responses and their behavior in their adult relationships. So what does that look like? That could mean, I'm trying to think of some examples. One time, a client I was working with, when he was a kid, his grandfather was really upset about one of his cousins kicking one of his chickens. And as my client at like 8 years old was walking up to where grandpa was yelling, grandpa turns to him and go, "This is your fault. You're the oldest. You should know better." And that 8-year-old little boy, without having a whole lot of logical processing because his brain wasn't developed enough, took it as, I am responsible for everyone else and making everyone else happy. And that has stayed in his nervous system. His nervous system from that traumatic event, and yes, that is considered a little t trauma, was wired in his nervous system to create a belief about himself and how to survive in his world. In his family dynamic, that belief served him very well to survive. Yet when you get into your adult relationships, if you think you are responsible for everybody else's actions, beliefs, behaviors, that creates codependency. It creates people pleasing. It creates what's called a fawn response, meaning I will get closer to the thing or the person that is attacking me to try and make it better. And if I can just control you and make you happy, I won't express or communicate my wants or needs because God forbid that create conflict and I don't know how to handle that. That's how it shows up in adulthood, right? From one event. We all have that version of childhood trauma. A lot of people also have big T trauma, right? But this is the subtle work that goes unnoticed, unaddressed, and unhealed because it's not widely known or accepted as traumatic. But trauma is not the event that happened. It's what stays stuck in your nervous system, often for decades. And what the beauty about this is once you create the awareness, which is like the first 20 minutes of working with me, that's what we uncover. We talk about what's going on in your life now, but I have almost a surgical precision-like ability to go back to the moment in time where that belief was created. Then we do some inner child work to go back and reparent the child that made that belief and shift the perspective of that child so there's no longer an emotional tie to that memory and to that response. It's so fucking powerful. And then through something called somatic breathwork, which is like an hour-long session of healing the nervous system, allowing the nervous system to complete a trauma response. And I don't have enough time in this video to explain what that looks like, but our body is a mammal, it's an animal. It knows how to complete a trauma response, but our brain and our upbringing and our environment never allows for us to complete the trauma response. So breathwork is a great way to do that. Oh my God, then you don't have to let these childhood past experiences or even relationship past experiences or past traumas continue to dictate how you show up, how you feel, and how you choose partners and how you show up in the world. That's what healing is, right? Not that we go back and change the past. The past has already happened. It's already there. It's already created who you are in a lot of beautiful ways and maybe some not so healthy ways. But we can move forward without carrying this big backpack of cement blocks around that is our past. So if you want to learn more about that, hit me up in the DMs because I can tell you right now, life-changing, unbelievably life-changing. That's why I learned how to do these tools and skills because they fucking worked for me. And I didn't have any big T trauma. My biggest little T trauma was I was walking behind my dad when I was 5 years old. I went to go give him a hug and a kiss on the lips like I had done, I don't know, hundreds of times before. And he said, "Daddies and daughters don't kiss on the lips." That was my first experience of rejection. Right? Now, I have a very clear memory of that. I have a very vivid memory of that. I didn't realize until I was going through a divorce and doing this inner child work that was when the moment in time that I turned to performance-based, that I believed I had to earn love and I had to perform to earn love. And so I was very successful in life and I was very successful at basketball and achievement and productivity, right? All because I was trying to earn daddy's love. That doesn't work out well in relationships. I can tell you that now, right? So I had to go back through and reparent that version of myself that thought I am not worthy and deserving of love as I am, because that's how I felt by dad in that moment. And that I don't have to perform to earn love, that I'm worthy and deserving of love now. And it still fucking shows up. I've healed it. I'm aware of it, and I still have to be intentional about not letting that subconscious belief still drive my behavior in relationships. It's fascinating stuff. But awareness is part of the key. And once you know better, you can do better. So hit me up in the DMs if you want to learn more about it. And hey, my name's Tara, and I'm on a mission to create a self-aware army because it's lonely in these self-aware streets.